Hello, Seth. Oh, hello.
Hello.
You came right on in. How are you?
I'm well. I am well. Busy, but yes,
We like
I'm
we like busy. We like busy.
to a certain extent.
I get you. I get you. Well, we're gonna get on started. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the seventh and the final conversation and the first edition of the What I Wish I Knew Life After Ages PVA series, where we have conversations with PVA alums about their post-PVA experience and how their time at PVA shaped who they are, the creatives and professionals that they are today. And so I am so happy to be joined by Dr. Seth Parker Woods, instrumental class of 2003. Seth is a cellist, a curator, a multidisciplinary artist, emphasis on multidisciplinary. And so I'm just so excited to have you here with us today.
Thank you for having me. It's yeah.
So we're going to go into a game, and we play this game every time. And right now the score to beat is 7. So hopefully your thinking cap is on and maybe your memories are percolating up in there. And hopefully we can see if you can be the last person to beat 7. So
That's
are
been a
you?
long time.
I understand. So we're just gonna see.
Almost 20 years.
Oh wow. Yes. Okay. Well, are you ready to see if it's still there?
Sure, let's try.
Okay, let's try. All right. I'm starting it now. Okay, so who was the principal of PVA when you attended?
Dr. Karpicki.
What are the school colors?
Uh, red and black and white. No. Yes. No.
Red and gray. Okay.
Great.
Name 2 famous alumni.
Myself.
Yes.
We have Robert Glasper. We have.
You got your 2. Name 2 shows, recitals, showcases that you did at PVA.
Oh my God. Well, there's Spaghetti Supper, of course, but out of that, we have like Our Feet Can Tell a Story.
Yes. Okay. Name 4 of your high school friends.
Oh my God. Stephen Hudson, Roderick George. Oh my God, there's so many. Jessica Phillips. She goes by J. Nicole now on here. And Adam Hightower.
Name 3 art area.
He was vocal of Oaktree also.
Yes. Name 3 art area or academic teachers that you had.
Mrs. Ballard, Mr. Oh my God. Oh my God, this is a lot.
Oh, it's over. Like, wait, the thing didn't go off. It's been over a little bit. You did get to you got to 5. That's more than I can say for most. So I appreciate your 5. Do you want to know what the other ones were? The other
ones stressful.
Just to get the blood flowing, just get you ready. So the other questions that you would have gotten, what day were happenings on?
Oh, those are Fridays.
Make it a great day or
not. Major dog.
Yes. Or not. Perfect place to hide at the old PVA.
Oh. Oh my gosh. Well, there are many places.
Yes, there's many places. What was your place to hide?
Oh, well, yeah. Not really any place to hide, really, but under the stairs, people would, spend time under there in the cafeteria, or King was another one.
Yeah.
Maybe the parking lot, the back parking lot.
That's another perfect place to hide. Yeah.
Yeah. Not that I was hiding. These were,
in plain sight.
Covered areas.
Yes. And the last question would have been, what month does Spaghetti Supper take place?
Oh my God. Oh God, that's in the first quarter. October?
Yes, October.
Girl,
so
it's a long time ago.
It's a long time ago, but you got to 5, and so we appreciate your 5. So we're just gonna get everyone acquainted with who you are. But as I said before, you are a class of 2003 instrumental art area graduate. And can you tell us where you went to college after PVA?
Yeah, so I had an interesting roundabout kind of way afterwards. I started out in Ohio at Baldwin Wallace
Mhm.
College, which is now Baldwin Wallace University, I think is what it is called now.
Yeah.
Then I escaped.
Okay.
Crazy there.
Yeah.
When I was there. So then I left and ended up in New York City.
Mm.
I studied at Brooklyn College, and then I worked there for quite a while after school, and then left and I moved to Europe,
Mm.
Switzerland, and then I studied there, and then in Germany, and then I finished my doctorate in the UK.
Yeah, so you made your way around. Love that. Love that. Well traveled. Love that. So, I guess we'll take it back to PVA. So tell us kind of like, how did PVA even get on your radar?
Oh, I had a lot of class, like friends that I knew kind of coming up, that went there. But also my sister went there. She's
Oh,
class
cool.
01 vocal, like with Desiree Godsell Walker.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so many that kind of came out of that class. Um, yeah, so she went there. So of course I knew her. Danielle Walker, who's still in Houston, I think. They were all, but I've known Danielle, and well, her and my sister were very close, from
Wow.
a long time. So yeah, so that's kind of how I discovered and kind of knew of PVA. But also it had a very strong instrumental program, and many people I knew that were kind of in the same cello studio as I was. They were
Mm-hmm.
older, had gone there, were currently there at that time.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you think of PVA, what are some things, words, events, stuff that just comes to mind?
In some ways, it was a challenge, but also a community, true community, and a space or a haven. A haven is a good one
Yeah.
for development, and kind of figuring out who you were in that moment in time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Exploration, freedom, complicated.
We can talk about the complicated. We
To
can
be
talk about the
very
complicated.
honest and true,
Mm-hmm.
with where I'm at in my age now, I can look back on it, very honestly. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, so those are some of the things. So I'm thankful, for those years and many people that I got to know in that
Right.
time. And have now discovered later that there are many classes, after me, and I do mean many classes after me, that are doing
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. So I guess my next question would be about that real world moment for you. So after you've graduated and you're just like, okay, I'm not in Kansas anymore, I'm not in PVA anymore. Like what's a real world moment that stands out to you?
Um, I think true freedom. I think in
Mm-hmm.
a way it's shocking in a way. I was in New York. I mean, I had gone to New York kind of during my time at PBA. This is pre 9/11,
Mm.
um, and so I got accepted into this program at Juilliard. So I went there for a
Yeah.
little bit of time, kind of in between PBA. And that but this is like back when there was like the old Juilliard front and they had
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff. But it really opened my eyes and kind of I already thought PBA was so amazing, and it was also very scary too in some ways.
Yeah.
Um, but getting there into New York, and it's just this whole new world of people, expression,
Mm-hmm.
ways of dressing, ways of talking. Um, um, that really kind of burst things open for me. But I guess truly post PVA was the idea, I guess, in ways of what music and art could really be
Yeah.
beyond this very traditional kind of format, which is great. I think it's important to have a bedrock,
Mm-hmm.
to work from, but to also realize and to understand that Houston is very much so, it's a bubble. It's a
Yeah.
bubble, and then what's taught there is very much so it's still a bubble. And
Mm-hmm.
to be able to bring in people that can kind of open your eyes to more than what's there, more than what's at PVA, more than what's in Houston, more than what's in Texas, but what's happening in New York, what's happening in Berlin, what's happening in Paris, etc., and the ways of people creating, even in classical music or beyond classical music. I didn't really do much, even contemporary music, you know, when I was studying there. And it was, I went to New York and they were like, boom. I was like,
this is what it could be. It can be something completely different than what you've been doing. Yeah, I totally resonate with that. Yeah. Wow. So what would be something that you learned at PVA that still, you know, sticks with you today?
Community.
Community.
Truly. I've truly been all over the world. Mm-hmm. And that's a blessing to be able to say that. And it's been amazing to watch how we are everywhere. We really are. Whether it was in Zurich or in Basel or in Berlin or in Tel Aviv or St. Petersburg. And I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing here? But also just comforting and warm to see that, you know, someone I knew from my past or connected to PVA in a way shares that link. And so many people in that way, people that graduated before me, that graduated after me, that were with me, I've had the fortune to be able to work with them now and to kind of reminisce also kind of what our times were like then and how we have evolved, but hold true to some of the, I guess, the ethos of which PVA instilled in all of us and kind of to take us for where we are right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely see that community aspect, the collaboration aspect in the work that you do. I know you've done a couple things, recent things with some PVA alums. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Well, yeah. So one of them is with an old good friend of mine, Roderick George, dancer from Casa 2003. It feels so long ago.
I know it's like the class of 21, and I'm like, oh, we in the 20s now. Okay, here we are.
So I've been an admirer of his, you know, just his artistry. We've known each other since we were about 10 years old, 10, 11.
Yeah.
And so it had been a dream to one day work with him. And we both ended up in Switzerland together at different points in time. He had come a few years before I had arrived there. And we're both in this small town, but a huge art center for Europe, let alone Switzerland. And he was dancing as a principal in the ballet there. And we were like, we got to make something, but it never happened then. And fast forward many, many years later, more than a decade later. And I proposed to him to join me on a work of mine and kind of to reimagine this work, which originally was for cello and electronics, and to see if he would be interested in it. And it's very the work isn't conceptual in that way, but it's not full of a lot of beats everywhere. Something that you're like, oh yes, I can totally dance to this. It really forces you to stretch and to think about the body and movement and rhythm and gesture in very different ways. And so he came on board, and it was like over a year of thinking, when can we do it? How can we do it? And of course, COVID really slowed a lot of that down. But this past season, this season we're closing out on now. I was artist in residence with the Kaufman Music Center in New York City, right next to the Lincoln Center in New York City. And so we basically created it there and then filmed it in the concert hall there. So that's now online. It premiered a few weeks ago. The single word is not enough, and he's stunning in it. And it was just so amazing to kind of break down my movements and the sounds and then be able to translate that for him or him to translate that and then find a way for us to have this deep connection together. On top of that, I'm about to fly to Charleston, South Carolina tomorrow for the Spoleto Festival, where I'm joining old PBA alum Jason Moran.
Woo-hoo!
I'm about to join him on stage again. He and his wife, Alicia Hall Moran, amazing singer also, for their Two Wings project. I hope one day it comes to Houston. That would be absolutely beautiful. I'm doing that. That's what's coming up right now.
Right now, yes.
I mean, that's what's happening right now in this moment in time. Yeah. So there's those are some of the close ones right now.
That is so cool. Oh my gosh. Just like, I love that, now that outside is opening up back up, but it kind of was already open anyway. Here in Texas it was. But just seeing all of the creative projects that have come out of this time and just how we are still being able to, move and sing and create and seeing what that is and just thinking of like 5 years from now, looking back and seeing like, this is what was going on and what inspired us and what came out of it. So excited that you are, doing some really fantastic work, really. So I want to get into some student submitted questions.
Oh.
So the kids got some questions.
Okay.
What are some things that you've done or wish you would have done at my age that helped you get to where you are today?
Their age. I was like, your age? I was like, what? And some things I wish I would have done then at their age while I was at PVA. I think I wish I would have collaborated more beyond my art area. Maybe stretched myself more.
Mm-hmm.
I think another side of it is, eventually, regardless of if it's a performing arts high school or regular, public high school, you get to know only some people, or you know people through a certain lens. And I wish I would have gotten to know more people that were kind of in my class or the classes below me earlier on, or gotten to know them on a deeper level beyond just the school or the kind of adjacent or peripheral kind of association with them. That happens more now. I'm having a better chance at that at this part in my life, and getting to know more of their true story outside the ones that I really did know. So I think that's like the thing, trying to kind of cultivate deeper relationships, deeper friendships that aren't very kind of surface level or artificial, as you probably know what I mean. But it happens. It happens in school. You get wrapped up, you find your grouping, and that could be multiple groups. But trying to find the ones that really see you and root you on and support you and push you and call you out on your shit. But mostly help celebrate you and you celebrate them truthfully, fully, and kind of can see where you're trying to go and not necessarily stay, to step in the way of that, but more so kind of how can we both take up a platform and use it for each other. So I think that's something I wish I would have kind of done before. And so the idea of the people you sit next to, you are in rehearsal to, you sit in front of or behind, these will be the people that may hire you. These may be the people that will commission you. These may be the people that will become the artistic directors, executive directors, that you may end up partnering with before, you're 30 or after, So try to cultivate those relationships and see it as what they're doing and not necessarily turn your nose up or go a different direction because it doesn't necessarily fit with your idea of where you are and what your aspirations may be. But I guess the bigger thing is to hold tight to what it is you believe in, regardless of naysayers. And that happens a lot, I think, in performing arts, especially at a kind of an incubator like PVA in some ways. So try to find the tribe that will really support you.
Yeah, that's great advice. Great. What did you project or hope for yourself professionally during your PVA years?
Oh my gosh, that I would travel the world and experience new cultures and people and languages and beyond what I dreamt. I used to collect National Geographic pages, like a little box, and I would take out certain pages,
Yeah.
Thank you, library, and I'm also sorry, library. Certain pages of certain countries or cities, and kind of like a time capsule of places I dreamt of going, and I didn't know, if I would ever make it to any of those places, but I can look back now fondly and say that yes, I ticked a lot of those off, and it's been, the cello has been kind of the vehicle for that. Yeah, so I'm lucky. Yeah.
Cello in the brain, though.
Yeah.
The brain too. So where does your inspiration for your creative process come from?
Oh, that comes from a lot. It comes from choreographers. It comes from dramaturgs. It comes from poetry, wide and varied. It comes from those that are disabled and that are doing amazing work, especially in the arts and beyond in STEM. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it comes from inspiring entrepreneurs. It comes from my mother, my late father. It comes from my my classmates and colleagues. We're all out here, still grinding it, regardless of where we've arrived to in our careers or platform. And it's been so beautiful to watch some that have become like these celebrity A-listers that are doing just amazing work, and they're putting each other on, and we haven't seen each other in years,
Yeah.
but that work is out there in that those forms of excellence, as we like to call it, Black excellence. It's out there, and it's being showcased in such a beautiful way, but in their own way that pulls in so many different techniques and narratives and inspirations from the world and lives and present and past histories that they've experienced.
Mm.
I don't know. I get it also from the teachers and educators that are my colleagues at the university. And then I guess the biggest part comes from my students. It comes from my
Yeah.
students. And being able to keep my eyes and ears open to what is happening, what is their story, how are they coming to this craft, and their perspectives on it, and trying to stay open and not staunchly, this is the thing I do and this is how I'm going to teach it to you, but how can I also learn from you and see the world through your
Yeah.
eyes in the same time? Yeah. And not feeling as if I'm, a pedagogue, I'm the teacher, you are the student, but we're colleagues. And that's kind of the culture,
Yeah.
at least at my university. Yeah.
Okay. That's a great, it's not like that everywhere.
No,
Coming
it's not.
from,
But you can instill it. You can create, you can set a culture for that yourself, even if the
yeah.
areas don't necessarily reflect that.
Yes. Okay. One more question.
Okay.
So, as a person of color, a classical musician who is a person of color, do you have any advice for young musicians who also are in the BIPOC community?
Mm. Surround yourself with love,
Mm.
even if that's not direct family. Find those people. And I think at the very least, you count on yourself and you invest and you pour into yourself, even if the field does not look like you in any way, or even if it does, but what is being presented in print or in image or any of those things, or broadcast doesn't look like you or sound like you, you should count on yourself and find
Mm.
those that do, invest in those, collaborate with those, and trust your process and trust your craft. Because at the end of the day, when the lights are off, that will be all you really do have, and
Yeah.
that in itself, I think, will save you. And try to do it in your own way and not necessarily always what's taught. There's always a bedrock, of course, that we always learn and we pull from and we pass on. But how do you expand that bedrock in a way that speaks truthfully to your story and those around you that you want to tell?
Come on with the stellar answers. It's just, you're feeding me as well. Like, oh,
Good.
yes,
I mean, you are my
love it.
younger peer. Yes.
Yes, I love this. Love this. Okay, so I have no more student questions, but just want to know what's next for you. How can we keep updated with what you're doing? What's coming? What's coming up?
Okay. Yeah. Well, I have just resigned from. I've just resigned from my position, a faculty position at the University of Chicago, because I'm
Mhm.
moving to Buffalo, New York, even colder. Um, where I'm taking up the distinguished scholar and visiting professor post at the university in the Department of Music and Center for
Yes.
Innovation. So
Okay.
yeah, so that's kind of what's next in that realm, and my solo show will start touring again. We're starting to get those dates locked in with Roderick. Of course, he will be on this tour with me, which will be really amazing to kind of fly that flag of Houston across the country and into Canada as well for now, starting out at least. Um,
Yeah.
and then I'm working on my next album, which will come out within a year. Yeah. So
Okay, album.
I'm just a little busy. Just
Just a tad.
things. Oh, I'm writing a book. Yes, I'm writing a book.
Oh, wait, for real? Yes. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
That's part of my appointment at Buffalo. It's really to look at stigmas around mental illness, specifically dementia and schizophrenia, but also looking at bodies, Black bodies on display, and that kind of reclaiming of that power and narrative. So,
Yes. Also, if anyone has any questions, please hit us in the question box in the chat.
yeah.
That is, wow. So and then the festival is tomorrow, correct? It'll be fun.
Oh, no, Spoleto's already going on, but I travel tomorrow.
Oh.
Our concert is on the 11th, so that's
Okay.
Friday.
One of the days of the week, yes.
It's Friday. Friday's the concert that night, so night and evening concert.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be really exciting. The Imani wins, the famed.
Imani wins. Yes.
Coach Reagan is also going to be there with us, and
yeah.
Oh my God, the guest list of people that are joining us for this concert is pretty it's pretty amazing.
Wow.
So I'm really stoked and excited for it, and so I really actually Chayla Yancey, who also went to HSPVA many years before me, well, quite a few years before. I think she's close. I think she's close into like Jason's year. She's also a PVA alum, so she's also on this concert. She's a violinist, violist, played in the orchestra.
Okay, so y'all got to get a photo. Okay, someone and and you got to send it over here so we can post, because we love our photos.
We'll do a photo.
Yes.
Yeah,
oh, that's so exciting. Yeah. Well, I don't think we have any questions, but this has been so great getting to finally connect with you and, have this. And thanks for everyone. Oh, we say, yes, Miss Yancey. Amazing. So just getting to close this out with you has been great. 7 conversations in. We may bring it back. Y'all let us know if y'all want us to bring it back in the fall. But thank you so much for spending time with us. And can't wait to support you with all the things that you have coming up, with the book, with the album, with the performances and all of that. But just continue to let us know how we can support you. All of our guests, thanks for tuning in. You can follow us on all of our social media platforms. We have our Twitter, we have our Facebook, we have our Instagram, and this conversation will be going up saved onto our page, as well as our YouTube page, where you can see all of the rest of our conversations this past season. So thank you, Seth, for being here with us today.
Indeed, it was my absolute pleasure, and you guys keep on doing the great work. I'm loving seeing this, and glad that this type of alumni network actually does exist, and I think it would have been even more beneficial when we were coming up. So thanks for being
here. And thank you for being a part of the team, one of our advisory collective members. We will be announcing, shortly we will be announcing that. So yes, thank you, and continue to be well.
Likewise, and to you.
All right, y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye.